Hi, Mom.
Hi!
It's cold. Why do you have the air conditioning? The fan isn't making me
sweater and
cold.
you're not, but okay. You want it to go warm? Here, we'll go warm. And it will get warmer. It will switch. Okay?
What was going on at the synagogue?
It was very contentious. It was very contentious. You can't preach the ways of the Torah without sounding like a liberal. You can't. You're supposed to care about certain things. That's the very credo of life itself. My parents were, my mother was born in this country. She was born in New York. And my father was born in Lithuania. My parents, they met and married in Israel. And when my father could not make a living, after a whole year and a half, this was the Depression years, then he came with my mom. They came to Georgetown. They came to Georgetown. He had trouble finding a job here as well. He didn't like commuting. So, with my mom's encouragement, they opened a store. It was kind of all kinds of miscellaneous games and stationery, things like that. And he was to be a printer. We lived over the store. Georgetown was not a posh community when we lived there. It was falling apart. It was not gentrified at all. I would say that most of the children that lived there were the product of very poor family life. And poor because parents were likely to be drunk and were definitely very, very prejudiced. So whoever I was playing with, very often, mother would call him aside and say, "You can't play with her." Why not? Because she's Jewish. So what? Well, the Jews killed Christ. Did I know who Christ was? Did I know anybody that killed anybody? My grandfather explained to me that Jesus was a Jew. He was a teacher. And so I remember going to the public school there where I was the only Jewish person in 300 kids. And there was a little girl named Kathleen Morris who was my friend, but then told me she couldn't be my friend because her brothers told her the Jews killed Christ. So I told her what my grandfather had told me when I wanted to play with this other child. And I said Christ was a Jew and he died saying the Shema. Anyway, she found that fascinating and she told her brothers, and then they took up for me. However, I shouldn't have had to be taken up for. I was raised in a kosher home. We didn't eat the same foods as other people. It had to be kosher. It's a way of reminding you that you are Jewish, that you are not just like everybody else. You do care about the animals and how they were slaughtered. You do care about your own well-being. You don't eat certain things one after another. I was happy. I didn't know there was any other way. It wasn't something that I questioned. I questioned why I was being shunted aside because of something that my people were supposed to have done a long time ago. There was a Jewish teacher there who I thought would be nice to me. Why was I looking for someone to be nice? I took people for granted, and all of a sudden I had to look for niceness. Her name was Mrs. Polikoff. And this was during the Second World War, which of course we have Hitler, and the Holocaust. Well, she wanted nothing to do. Some people that were Jewish just removed themselves from Judaism. She wanted nothing to do with me. She was not nice to me. She did not defend me in any way. When children stole my toys, not my toys, my pencil box, my crayons, whatever it was, while I was going to school. On the contrary, she punished me when I took it back. She was mean, and she was Jewish, and that hurt. Because I was suffering the prejudice that I was encountering, and yet I was a friendly child, and there were other children that played with me, but they weren't going to my school. I had no one to be friends with. I went to the Georgetown Children's House, which was for poor people. It was a settlement house where you went for activities. And one of the things that I did do was to become really friendly to the, at that time they were called Negro children, that started also coming to the Georgetown Children's House. But the white children there and their parents complained bitterly, didn't want them to have to. And the Negro children lived in alleyways, literally. And each group ganged up against the other. But the Negro children absolutely took care of me and defended me, because I was decent and just a human being to them. And I recognized the need for this because of what I underwent and because what my parents underwent. My parents were very, very aware of the Second World War and the Nazis. Absolutely, the Nazis. My father lost 200 of his family members, aunts, uncles, cousins. I knew all this. I was aware of family members, even though I had never met them. But you meet through stories about them. It is still going on today, everywhere. But I also know that there's a positive aspect to prejudice, to being singled out. Jewish people retain their Jewishness best when they have to come together, and they have to do that, like when there was the massacre of the 11 Jews in synagogue. It brought many people together that haven't practiced Judaism in a long time, haven't gone to a synagogue in a long time, but people came from all over to be together. You can't appreciate being accepted unless you were unaccepted, and I certainly was. So this is the doer, the leader. And see, it's taller than the others. So I like that first. And then we say the blessing for there are 3 blessings, I believe, for Hanukkah. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed art you, O God. Eloheinu melech haolam. Shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu. Bizman hazeh. No. Vayamim hahem bazman hazeh. That did all these things for us, and that brought us to this day, in the past and now as well. And then there's the one that we say for the blessing, the miracle of Hanukkah. What is the miracle? The blessing is Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim, that you made miracles for our people, Lavotenu, for our forefathers, in those days and today. Ma'oz tzur Yeshuati, lechana el shabeach, tikon betefilati, v'sham toda nizabeach, li'ed tachin matbeach, v'nitzor hamnabeach, Az Edmor, Bashir Mizmor, Chanukat HaMizbeach. Az Edmor, Bashir Mizmor, Chanukat HaMizbeach.